So everyone, I'm sure you're aware of DC Universe, the streaming service that gave us the first show Titans, Doom Patrol, and soon to be Swamp Thing and then Stargirl. But believe it or not, a lot of fans are questioning if these shows are set in the same universe, and that is exactly what we're going to discuss today, because there's been a few things said by showrunners, writers that may surprise you, and as I said, today we're going to talk about it and try and iron it out as best as we can. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to a brand new video. Now, as I said in the intro, I've been wanting to make this video for the longest time just because I've received questions about it, but also the internet has discussed it and people and fans have debated, yes, Doom Patrol, for example, is set in the Titans verse. But then again, is it? Because people have said otherwise. People that I'm speaking about, for example, the showrunners, the writers, and everything like that. So as a result, it's kind of confused some of the fandom, because the first question is with, for example, Titans, and we had episode 4 Doom Patrol, why the hell would it not be in the same universe? What are you on about, Boba? Like, how are these characters? You quite literally saw Robot Man in Titans, but guess what? That actually didn't happen. And to even make this even more broader and blunt, Rita, for example, has never met Beast Boy. So what the heck is going on here? Let's talk about it. But first of all, guys, if you want to stay up to date with all things DC Universe, comic book videos, news updates, you name it, and discussion videos just like this one, subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this, obviously. And go ahead and like this video if you do go on to enjoy it. And it just lets me know you're enjoying these type of discussion-y videos. So for example, when I first heard about this, I was just like, what do you mean? Like, are you stupid? Like, Doom Patrol is set in the Titans verse. What is going on here? And even if you're just watching this video because you may have heard, oh, Stargirl is going to be its own thing, or Swamp Thing is going to be its own thing, or something like that, I'm going to give my opinion on all of this after I've read out a few things that the writers or whoever has said about this subject matter. So what I've done is pulled up a few articles of where, DC or other outlets have actually spoke to the people who work on, for example, Doom Patrol in this case. So here we have actually DCComics.com. The all-star cast and showrunners revealed new details about the highly anticipated spin-off of Titans, including why it's actually not really a spin-off of Titans, and that's exactly what I mean. So jumping to the meat of this article, where it says, but while Doom Patrol has long been called a spin-off to Titans, Carver says that may not be the best way to describe the new series, despite most of the same characters and the same actors playing those characters having first appeared on the earlier DC Universe series. So this is what he has to say. There are elements that were present in the Titans Doom Patrol episode, which was episode 4. I assume a few of you guys have watched Titans if you're watching this video, or maybe even if you've just watched Doom Patrol, you may be wondering about that connection. But I think everyone is best suited coming into this Doom Patrol understanding that we have our own continuity and our own story. And if you come in with a fresh perspective, I think that's the best way to view this Doom Patrol. So another example that may confuse you guys is from KSiteTV.com, and they spoke to April Balby, I guess, and this is one of the questions. So does this series version of Rita Farr, aka Elasti Woman, you'll definitely know her by now if you've watched Titans in 11 episodes of Doom Patrol, know Garfield Logan, basically Beast Boy? And she's like, no, we don't know him. It's completely a separate thing than Titans. So essentially what we saw in Titans season 1 episode 4 was Doom Patrol. We saw quite literally Beast Boy and Raven, or should I say Raven, meet Beast Boy, go to Doom Manor. We met, literally Brendan Fraser's Robot Man, and all the characters, the same actors. We met Rita met freaking Raven. It should all be the same, right? But quite literally, it's just a matter of kind of soft or low-key retconning, because when Doom Patrol episode 4 was being filmed, they didn't even know that it was going to become a proper show. It was kind of, I guess you could say, like a backdoor pilot. You can actually read more about this online. If anything, it's actually amazing how well this show has come off, where one of the showrunners has actually said how when he was pitching it, they were given such short time to make the super suits. They didn't even have like proper scripts finished. It was basically almost rushed. They had very tight deadlines, but wow, look at what they've achieved with it. But that is the case, guys. So when they were actually making the show, when they got the green light to make Doom Patrol, they obviously wanted to change a few things up from when, for example, Titans season 1 episode 4 Doom Patrol was shooting, because as I just said, they didn't even know if that was going to become a show. Then all of a sudden, maybe they did get the green light, and then they're like, oh crap, we're making a show we're having our own show, we're obviously going to make some kind of changes. So what came along with that? Well, one example is that the chief changed actors, but that's, you know, that's not all too surprising. That's not like really what we're talking about here. When they wanted to actually make their own show, they obviously had to write scripts and storylines and backstories, because remember the first episode, we saw all the origins to all the characters spanning decades and decades and decades and decades. So obviously when all of that comes in, they may have actually not lined it up to be exactly like what you saw in Titan Season 1, Episode 4, Doom Patrol. And that's why, for example, they said there are elements that were present in the Titans Doom Patrol, but I think everyone is best suited coming into this Doom Patrol understanding that we have our own continuity. So essentially, guys, they are set in the same world. This is my takeaway from it, and I believe even one of the writers or showrunners has said it's in the same world but set in a different continuity. But the thing is, this does add problems, I feel. For example, well, where did Beast Boy come from? He's going to be in Titans Season 2. What are they going to do about that? Like, where did they pick him up from? If Episode 4 in Titans, when they first met Beast Boy, he joined the Titans. Like, what's going on with that? If that never happened, how did they meet him? Like, what's going on there? Now, while I do agree with what they said about Swamp Thing, for example, and this is an article from comicbook.com saying DC isn't forcing Titans and Swamp Thing to be like in the same, you know, connected universe or whatever. They say, I think the opportunity is there if we want to, but it's not mandated. I think we could if, in the future, it organically works itself out to be that way. I haven't discussed that with the guys from Titans as they haven't discussed it with us. So I do get that. He's basically saying, oh yeah, a year, 2, 3 years down the line, we can cross these shows over. But like, why not like have it loosely connected right from the get-go? Like, what's the problem? We're not even asking DC Universe for like references in every episode, but doing what they have done, which is quite literally like, oh, these aren't connected, but maybe down the line they'll be connected, just makes it more confusing for fans. So you can't even use the excuse that even though there's new continuity in Doom Patrol, I guess Beast Boy still met the Titans in Season 1, but maybe it happened a different way to what we saw in Episode 4. No, we can't even say that because Rita Farr's never met Beast Boy. So this is the problem. So even though this is like an explanation video of like, are they all connected? Yes, they are in the same world. Doom Patrol that we're watching right now on DC Universe is set in the same world as Titans, but there's been such a weird organization of, okay, maybe we might cross over in a year or 2 or 3, you know, stuff like that. But it doesn't matter now. It doesn't need to be forced. It's not mandated. We don't have to worry about that right now. But in my opinion, it's just like DC Universe, why? What are you doing? Why, as I mentioned about 2 minutes ago, why didn't you just start the building blocks with all these shows connected, similar to the CW? But, you know, what I'm trying to get across is that doesn't mean we need constant references. I feel like they could have still easily kept Beast Boy in the Doom Patrol continuity, the new continuity that they've established. Because, for example, when you see like Robot Man looking out the window with his train set in that room in the first episode, and you see the decades or the years go by, you could have literally had Gar or Beast Boy like walk in, you know, in a time lapse and then like go away. That's one way you could have done it, and we would have been like, oh, like that's fine. Sure, you've still changed a few things up, like Chief's actor, and there's some new continuity there, like a soft retcon from Episode 4 Titans. That's easy to digest, but saying Rita Farr has never met Beast Boy and more changes is just too much on the head. Now, going back to articles for just one more minute, we have another one here, and I'm just pulling these up. These are all old articles, by the way, just adding more context to what we're talking about. This is in terms of Stargirl. So Stargirl's rating tone will be separate from Titans and Doom Patrol. And this basically just goes on to explain how Jeff Johns says, for me, Stargirl was its own show with the Justice Society. That doesn't mean we wouldn't eventually. It's basically more of the same. Doesn't mean we won't eventually do something, but for now it's just its own show. Like, the thing is, we get that. We've already been over that, and Stargirl, for sure, can have its own tone. You know, it's going to be completely feeling different to Titans and even Doom Patrol, two shows that are already vastly different. But yet again, I don't think it's a good idea to have this attitude with starting off the DC universe with like, okay, doesn't matter if these shows are different, we'll sort out the continuity later, even if it's at the expense of things like what we discussed with Beast Boy, having never met Rita, so how is he even in Titan Season 2? Like, how did they even pick him up? That's a big hole. Using those building blocks to start up your you know, new universe, DC universe, like we have a universe for the CW of the Green Arrow and all those characters, great, fantastic. But they started it when they made each of the other shows. They didn't even have to massively reference each other. Ignore the crossovers for a second, but we knew they were in the same universe. So guys, in conclusion, you know, I really like the DC universe. I enjoyed Titan Season 1, but that was definitely their blank canvas, and they were trying to see what they can do. Season 2 will feel quite different, I'm sure. But then they nailed it with Doom Patrol. But then they make their own continuity in terms of how Rita and the Doom Patrol has never met Beast Boy. So like then, therefore, even though I get their attitude of, you know, maybe we'll do something later, it is a big problem. Like how are they going to explain that? Are they even going to bother explaining that? If you're up for crossovers in the future, why didn't you start in the first place with a very, you know, as I said, you don't have to force it in our faces. We would get that the shows would be connected, but like you haven't done that. You're just saving it for another day, and that's just going to keep adding in problems. I get it with Swamp Thing and I get it with Stargirl because they're so outside the Titans and Doom Patrol realm that even though we could get Wally from Stargirl over to the Titans, you know, visiting town, and then he helps them out with something, that'd be great. That's the 2-3 year thing. Maybe we'll do something with that one day. Either way though, guys, if they keep making their shows as successful as Doom Patrol, I have absolutely no doubt in this world that we will see these shows or some characters from the shows crossing over. So not like a proper show crossover like Crisis on Earth X or like what the CW does, or like Crisis on Infinite Earths that is coming. Nothing like that. But for example, like Victor coming from Doom Patrol with the Titans in one episode, or Wally West after 2 or 3 seasons of Stargirl will come over and say hello to season 4 or season 5 of like Titans. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be kind of like that. But I don't feel like they did the best thing in their terms of universal or continuity management, because as I said, fair enough, like you didn't know if Doom Patrol was being made into a show, so when you made it, like things were different, but they don't care about that because it just doesn't matter to them at the minute. But I'm saying it does matter because a lot of fans are already really nitpicking this and debating, oh yeah, it is in the same world. No, it's in a different universe. It is in the same world. It's just they don't really care much at the minute in terms of continuity. And that, what I just said, quite literally right there, is it in a nutshell. So that is the video, guys. Let me know what you think of this whole situation. Do you agree with what I said in terms of how, like, there was no problem in loosely connecting the continuity of these shows at the beginning, and they should have done that, especially when they're probably inevitably got to cross them over somehow? Other than that, guys, subscribe for more videos just like this. Like the video if you did enjoy it. I really do appreciate it when you guys do that. It really, really does help. So crush that thumbs up button. Other links are in the description down below, but thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.